In this tutorial, we are going to cover forming teams, adding players and coaches to those teams, and how to activate and register your team to a league. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you as the league or club admin have logged into the back end of your system, right? So in order to get there, you need to go to whatever URL your league or club has. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to be using the test system. So we're going to go to test.osysa.live.com/SAM. Okay. So the /SAM is how you access the back end. This portion, the first portion of this URL is going to be whatever is assigned to your club or league. Okay. So since we're using the test system, it's test. But if I were Club Ohio, it would be clubohio.osysa.live.com/SAM. Okay. If you need to figure out how to access the back end, my recommendation for you would be to go to osysa.com. Once you're there, you can go over to the far right side under Forms and Resources and go all the way down to Player Coach Carding, and you need to click Stack Directory. When you click on that, it brings up this page, and you'll be interested in the third column over here with all the links to take you to the back end. Now, nobody can access the back end unless they have the correct user permission to do so. And so at this time, that should only be you. Okay. You'll have the opportunity to add additional users later. We're not going to cover that in this video, but here's where you can access your link to get into the back end if you are not sure where to go right now. All right. Once you've logged in, you're going to be brought to this page. This is your dashboard inside your system. Hopefully most of you are already familiar with this. If you're not, don't worry about that too much. There'll be other videos that will cover that you can go back and reference. Since we're going to be talking about forming teams, we need to make sure that we get to our event. On the left column here, you're going to find a nice blue column. It's going to contain all of your events. In mine specifically, because I've organized it a little bit, I just have folders at the first level here that you can see. When I open these up, so I'll go ahead and click 2019-20 events. Here are all my different events, right? So the event is denoted by this calendar icon. So what you need to do is you need to get to the event that you're going to be using to add teams, add and form teams to right now, okay? For the purposes of this demo, we're going to go ahead and add a team to our 2019-20 Ohio South competitive event. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. You don't actually need to do that. You can go ahead and click these arrows here. And it will open and expand your event down, and you'll be able to see the structure of an event. This is how it should look for the majority of you, okay? So we have the top level of our event here is denoted by this calendar icon. Underneath that should be the coach pool, and then underneath that should be the boys and girls folders, okay? Underneath those folders, there will be age groups within, okay? An age group is denoted by this hexagon with this circular arrow inside of it. Okay, and then it obviously denotes the age of the group. Okay, so if I clicked on U10, obviously that's the U10 age group. Okay. So in order to form a team, and you can see that we already have a few formed, a team is denoted by the circle with a T. Okay. The team is always formed underneath an age group. So whatever age group your team is playing in is the age group that you need to have selected. So for this demo, we're going to go ahead and select the U11 boys because I'm in the boys folder here. I could select U11 girls if I wanted to do that instead. But I'm just going to go ahead and do U11 boys. So you need to get to the correct age group in the correct gender. And then you go up here to this little menu and you click Add Team. Right. When you click on that, this page will pop up, and what we need to do is name our team. Okay, so we're gonna say Test Club FC. We're going to do, it's U11 boys. Let's see, if U9s are 2011, so these will be 10, these are 2012. So we'll say B12, okay? It's important that your team name is structured in a similar manner to this. That's going to really help the league when they go to card you. They might, if you're not formatting your teams in this manner, the league might ask you to correct it. So keep that in mind, okay? And if this was like, I don't know, the first team in an age group, maybe our colors are blue and orange, we'll say that orange is the top team. So we could say Test Club FC B12 orange, okay? So the birth date is 2012. Let's see. No, it would be, I got that backwards. It would be, let's see, 9, 10. U11 would be 10-year-old, 2010. So it'd be B10 orange. There we go. Sorry about that. So that's how we want to format the team name. Male's good because it is a boys team. It's in the correct age group. For team number, you don't need to fill anything out for that. That will automatically populate once you've activated the team to the league. So now we'll move down to the association reporting options. This is a very important section. If you're not filling this out correctly, then you're not going to be able to activate your team. The big hang up for a lot of people is this. We have to select the appropriate program type. Okay, most teams that you form in here are not going to be camp teams. Most of them will be competitive if you're playing and planning to get carded. Okay, but if you are a rec league admin and you're watching this video, you can go ahead and click recreational. Since I am going to do a competitive team for this because we're going to activate it to a league, I'm going to go ahead and hit competitive. Gender is male, that is correct, and the age group that we play in is U11. All right. If you want to select this box to take you to the new team page, that's fine. You can absolutely do that. However, I am not going to select that. I'm just going to go ahead and hit create. And once I've done that, you'll see that the U11 age group now has an arrow here. If I click on that and expand it down, boom, there we go. There's the team that we just formed. All right, and so what you're looking at here is called the team page, okay? So this is the team name that we just entered, all right? This is still the incorrect age group, so it'd be B09, all right? Make sure that you have that correct. Don't need to worry about team number still. And this is all good. Our team approval status will be not approved right now because we haven't activated or affiliated the team to the league, okay? As we scroll down, there's a few important buttons. This register for a league or tournament is grayed out. We'll get back to that in a second. Team Connect, you can enable Team Connect for your team. You can enable it just for the coaches, or you can enable it for everybody, that is coaches and players. Once you select one of these actions, then this button will become available to you. Team Connect is the free-to-use app that allows for team communication between the coach and the players, okay? It's kind of like Team Snap if you've ever used that. So this is not something that is mandatory for anything that will involve carding. It's an option that if you would like to use, you can, okay? Whenever you make a change to this page, you should always hit the update button, right? These three buttons are going to be key. Well, really just the first two. We don't use publish team assignments to members. The only time you do that really is if you're using this for tryouts, okay? First button, transfer to this team. So this is how you can pull in a player from a different club who's transferring into you. Keep in mind that if you're trying to do a transfer, the paper forms of the transfer paperwork in Ohio South are still required to be submitted to the league, right? And they should be submitted preferably via email in a scanned document, and you have copied both leagues, the league that the player is leaving and the league that the player is going to. So if they're actually leaving and going to the same league, that makes it easy for you. If they're leaving one league and going to a new league, like if If your team is playing in a league different from the team that they were on, right? So let's say he's coming from a team that was playing in Miami Valley and he's being transferred to a team that is playing in GCSL, okay? Then you'll want to make sure that you have both those leagues CC'd on transfer paperwork. Next one is request team activation. This is going to be key in just a second. We'll come back to that, but that is how you basically declare for a league and say, I want you to do my carding, okay? And then for guest players, we're not going to worry about that during this tutorial, okay? In order to add players and coaches to this team, first of all, we have to make sure that we have the team selected, right? And as I mentioned before, a team is denoted by the circle with the T, and it should be filed underneath your age group, okay? We're going to go up here and use these two red buttons to add participants and coaches. So if you click Assign Participant, this box will open up. Now, we don't really have a whole lot of test player demo information in here at this point in time, but if I had players in my U11 age group that were registered there, they would be showing up in this right box under Available Participants, okay? All you would need to do is you drag and drop those players from right to left, okay? From the right box into the left box, right? Once all the players that you want on the team are in there, you go ahead and hit Save Assignments. When you do this, it will save it, and these numbers over here will populate on the right side. So on the left is the number of coaches assigned to the team. On the right is the number of players assigned to the team, okay? This window will not close after you've hit Save Assignment, so you can go ahead and hit Cancel to get out of it. A common thing that we run into often is you'll pull up this to try to assign a player who may be registered late or has registered after the team has already been activated and they're not showing up there. If this is happening for you, it is because the team is already activated to the league, okay? If you've already confirmed that they are in fact in your system and they have successfully registered and they're not populating here, it's because the team has already registered to the league, and that is by design. So there's a different way that you'll have to go about getting that player on the team. I'm not going to go through that at this point in time. But you'll basically either re-register or move assign them, which you can find when you click on their name. It's a button that is located beneath their photo in their player profile, okay? Similarly, to assign a coach to a team, you're going to do the same thing. You go up and click Assign Coach. It will pull up all the available coaches to you. Again, these are all the coaches who have registered inside your coach pool, okay? Because the boys and the girls folders are filed underneath the coach pool and they contain all the age groups, that allows you to assign any coach who's registered to you to a team and even to multiple teams, okay? So if I wanted to pull test coach 2 over, I'm going to drag him and drop. I'm going to go and select that he's the head coach, and he'll be the primary contact, okay? This column right here that says RMA, it does say RMA, the A is a little cut off, has to do with their background check status. So if they're cleared, if they've successfully cleared their background check, then it will say this C. If they have not cleared their background check, it will say NC, right? Secondary and primary sorts, you can choose to sort by coaches by any of the information fields that were contained in their registration form. So that if you have a long list of coaches and you're trying to get to somebody specifically and you just know what you can sort by to get to them, you can use those. In terms of the column with a whistle, if there's a check mark here, it's just letting you know that the coach has been assigned to another team. So if it's a coach coaching 3 teams, this is the 3rd team that you're putting them on, that will probably have a check mark there, and that's okay. This next box that correlates with this person and the boy, just means that the coach has children who have registered inside this category. So for the rec side, that'll be handy, perhaps more so than the competitive side, okay? Yep, and then you can click on the magnifying glass and pull up their registration if there are questions you need to reference in their form, and you can see some of the information that way. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit Save Assignments here. Something key to note as well, that you should not be able to assign a coach to a team until they've cleared their background check. Right? Sometimes the system is a little funky and it lets people do that, but that coach will not be carded until he's cleared their background check, right? And the leagues are able to verify that. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit Save Assignments. Looks good. As you notice, it updated my left number here to 1 because I have 1 coach assigned to the team right now. I'm going to go ahead and hit Cancel to close the window out. And if I scroll down, you'll see that now I have that coach assigned to the team, and the players will show up underneath the coaches once they're added, okay? So that's how you add players and coaches. The next step, once you have all your players and coaches on the team, which is our recommendation, then the next step for you is to request team activation to the league. And again, this is you saying to the system, this is the league that we want to do our carding. The way you do that is by this button right here. It's called Request Team Activation. When you click on this button, it will bring up this small window. From this drop-down, you need to select which league you are trying to activate to, which means which league is going to do your carding, okay? So if you're only participating in Miami Valley, in MVYSA, then you need to click MVYSA and you would hit Submit Request, okay? If you're participating in multiple leagues, let's say you're playing in Ohio South State League, but you're also playing in Buckeye, Ohio South State League is the one who's going to do your carding, so you need to activate to OSSL, okay? So you would come down here and select Ohio South State League, you would activate to OSSL, and then you will register, which is the second step, which we will get to in just a second. You will register to both OSSL and to Buckeye, okay? So you can only activate a team to one league, okay? And that is the league that's going to do your carding, okay? You can register to as many leagues as you're participating in, okay? So for this demo, we're just going to say that this is actually a tournament team only, right? So I'm going to activate this team to them. Mostly because I can go back and kind of negate this once I'm done. It's not going to be a permanent thing for the purposes of this demo. And then, so once you've selected your league, we're going to go ahead and hit Submit Request. Right. So I have now submitted my request to be activated and carded by tournament teams only. Again, if you're playing MVYSA, if you're playing OSSL, if you're playing Mosul, Buckeye, GCSL, GLC, you need to affiliate to the league that is going to be doing your carding, okay? We're going to go see if this team has been activated yet. This is what all the leagues use to work with carding. I'm going to go down here to tournament teams only. I'm going to go to teams. Want to make sure Test Club FC B10 Orange, which actually should be B09 Orange. Don't know why that didn't update. Right, we're going to go ahead and hit update here. Good. So if I come over here, I should be able to see, I'll just type in test. Very good. So I have an orange dot, which means I haven't been approved yet. I'm just going to act as the league, and I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Don't need to add any notes. Okay. So it has been approved. Right. So now it's a blue dot with an arrow pointing up, which means it's been approved, and it assigned me a team number. Okay. So if I go back into the club and league side, what I just did, you guys will have nothing to do with that. If you are a league or club admin, and especially if you're on the rec side, this is not anything that you should be doing, okay? You do not need to activate teams. This is really only for the competitive side now. So if you're on the rec side, you could have shut this video off 5 minutes ago, okay? For the competitive side, that is something that you need to do. However, you will not have access to this side of things, and you don't need it. So you don't need to worry about that, okay? Just that's for the league to handle, and they will take care of that, okay? Your focus is here on what you have access to, okay? So we're going to actually go ahead and refresh since I did that so quickly. Normally, you guys would probably come back in later in the day and check to see if the team's been approved. So if we go back down to our team now, you can see here it's been approved by the league in Association Connect. So that's great. And now, if you'll notice, the Request Team Activation button is no longer available because we have been approved by a league to do carding, and now the Register for a League or Tournament button is available. Again, I want to impress on you, you should not be doing this until you have all your coaches and players assigned to the team, okay? The only exception to that is if your league tells you otherwise. Like, for example, I know that this summer, I believe Mosul and Buckeye both used this system to do declarations, right? And so they had people declare with an empty team, okay? With no coaches or players on it. And if that's the direction that you're given by your league, then do that. Otherwise, if you have not received that direction, you should wait until all your coaches and players are placed on the team by you before you activate to the league, okay? So now that we're activated and approved, we can go ahead and register for a league or tournament. The only caveat to this is that all your players that are on the team, just players, must be age ID verified. That is this little dot here, okay? I'm using the coach as an example because I don't have any players on the team. Coaches, this dot will never change for them, and that's okay. It's always going to be red with a dash for the coaches. For the players, however, they are verified. So that dot is going to change, and it will be green with a check mark, okay? As long as all your players have that green dot with a check mark, then you can go ahead and register for a league or tournament. That's the caveat. You can't register for a league or tournament until all your players have been verified, okay? When you click on the register for a league or tournament, it's going to open up a window, and this will be a directory. The test club has not been invited to participate in any leagues, so it's showing up as blank at this point in time. However, when you click on it, over here on the left side, you're going to see a list of all the different leagues that you've been invited to participate in. So if you're playing MVYSA, MVYSA should show up here. If you're playing GCSL, GCSL should show up here. If you're playing OSSL, OSSL should show up here. You need to select the appropriate league, and on the right side, after you've selected the league, you'll see a bunch of information, and then over here towards the right top corner of this little window, there will be a button that says register now or begin or something along those lines. When you click that, from that point on, you will run through the registration. Usually, it's a very quick form. Most of our leagues just want a contact and their information in case something should happen. Once you finish that, you'll get a confirmation email. Make sure you check your junk mail if it didn't come directly to your inbox. And you'll be registered to the league. There will be, let's see if I can pull up an example from last year. Let's see here. That one doesn't have one. That one doesn't have one. That one doesn't have one, but this has a bunch of coaches on it. Let's see, team 4. Nope, but this will give you a better sense of what it's going to look like. Okay, so participants or players will show up below the coaches, okay? And this player is not verified. That's why his dot is red, okay? Let's try team 2. Perfect, okay. So, again, register for a league or tournament, and then once you've successfully completed it, you'll have this box will show up. And if you've only registered to one league, there will only be one league that shows up here, okay? And it will tell you if they've approved your registration, which most of them should. The only time it would be rejected is if you registered to the wrong league. So if you screwed up then that's why that's going to show that as rejected. Otherwise, it will look very similar to this. And you can kind of monitor that and see when your status changes. But otherwise, for all intents and purposes, you have now successfully activated and registered to the league. And so now the league can print your cards and print your roster. And as long as you're staying in touch with them, then you'll be in really good shape. And I'm sure you'll be getting that stuff real soon. So, yep, that is how you form teams, add players and coaches, and how you activate and register to a league. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.